Last year in New York, I had the pleasure to present my job and my passion to make the light on the building or to create the event on the urban city. Today, we will describe what we are creating for this magnificent project of Jeddah Tower. Of course, Jeddah Tower, and you saw the different architecture, is a very thin and elegant tower, but it's also a monument for more than 1,000 meters. So we need to considering this building differently and to create something very special for the lighting. Our previous permanent lighting design for monuments was more for historical buildings as Hermitage Museum in St. Petersburg or Castillo de Moro in Cuba or some city in France. Or we just, by the launch of Burj Khalifa in 2010, we tried to play with the moon with the record of fireworks and light beams. But for this new tower, the project is different. We need to create permanent lighting and to make a new signature for this icon in Saudi Arabia. To make this job, I associate with my friend, the famous lighting designer Louis Clair, and we work immediately on two segments, the vision. The first one must be the permanent lighting, the current day, and the second one will be the festive lighting, to create something different for the different events or different opportunity during the years. And of course, for this challenge, we need to create something very contemporary when using the last innovation in terms of lighting, because the building will be in 2019 and it will be for the next generation. So it's very important to use the last technology that we can have. Of course, when you have a monument like that, you need to analyze the architecture. You need also to interpret and to considering the vision of the tower. You need also to create the great impact if you want to make an event on this one. And it will be not only around the tower, but a little bit far. And even though that the architecture of the building seemed very fluid, very pure vertical around, the Jeddah Tower's sophisticated facade has a lot of different shapes. And we could not use a normal spot or equipment lighting to make this design. You see, you have the balcony, you have some curve, you have some line, you have some beautiful canopy, you have the landscaping. All these characters create some difficulty to give a homogeneous lighting design. And of course, it's a glass, and the glass you cannot project on it. So we decide to be very integrate inside the architecture, because we start on the construction and we decide to use the aluminum link between the glass to incorporate the light. And also we need to think that the lighting of the tower is not only that. We have the whole cityscape to considering for the moving lighting. And of course, we need to considering the position of this tower inside Saudi Arabia, and it's very important to make something different. We saw that the architect wants to give some movement of this tower by this style. So we saw that it's impossible to have the fixed lighting and static lighting. So we decided to incorporate some color on this monument. But to make a color for a monument for 100, 200, or 300 meters, it's very different when you have 1,000 meters high. And what we want, we want to create some shape, and we want to create some contrast and some movement. So we initially on the study, we said that we can command all the lighting of this tower by computer to create some different animation and different scenery. So it's the lighting can be like a draping for this architecture, but also we can transform this tower like a giant video screen or dynamic element. So we decide to be very different following the different sceneries that we want. Of course, we will use some sky beam on the top, but all the elements must be dynamic and using the last technology and the different color. Of course, you know that when you are using some color, if you want to put some red or green, it's very different than the blue, so you need to have more intensity to have the good appearance when you are at 1,000 meters of that. And for the festive lighting, because you are using a dynamic lighting for the day-to-day, it's very important that the festive lighting can reflect the events which we are celebrating. So it's important to give the possibility to design some elements on the tower, like a big screen, and to adapt in function of the different elements. If I want to write a letter, a sentence, or to design some Arabic patterns like that. So, of course, also we must considering that the line of the tower is not vertical. There are some movements, so we need to really to incorporate this LED that we will create. We'll create a special equipment on the aluminum, and on each equipment we create some different chips of LED, incorporating the different color, and also incorporating some different angle, because it's not necessary to project the beams horizontally when you are in 900 meters. You need to make an angle to have a good vision from the ground. So we decide to use, as I told you, the aluminum structure, and to keep some different space between, but the minimum space to give, when you are on the ground, the idea that it's a continuing line. And also, when you want to design some elements on the tower, because it's at 1,000 meters, you need to considering that what is the vision from the ground and how you can read the number of the letters. So we're considering that to use the minimum 4 kilometers from the tower to distinct what it's writing on the tower. So the minimum character will be nearly 20 meters, and also more you are going down, the letters can be minimum size. So it's very important that the system to the command of this equipment must be very perfect. And we can. So the equipment is very simple, but inside all the chips of LED has its own reflector, and we create initially this one. Now the prototype is evaluated because it's in 2 years we need to following the new concepts of the technology, and we create this system with a special jack also to put to make an easy set. And also for the maintenance, they don't need to keep the cable. They just have the jack for the power and also the command, the DMX. So it will be a prototype, but we need probably 300,000 units like that for the tower. So each one before had the 5, now they are, each one has 7, so it's probably nearly 3 million LED that we mass control by the computer to design something on the tower. So if I resume the lighting, of course, we will use for the top skybeam and sky tracer. This equipment will be inside the technical area, and when we are using, they going out like that. During the day, you must not see any equipment. We have the LED on all the tower, as I show you. And on the bottom, because it's close, very close to the audience, we are thinking to have the screen to permit some more video adjustment for the people. It's integrated inside the glass. And we have the garden, of course, it will be different, but in homogeneity with the tower. And just to give some idea of how we program a tower like that for the lighting, because it's not to put only the equipment, you need to program that. And I just want to show what we made in China, where they ask to control not only one tower, but 400 buildings, 445 buildings. And I have a small movie to show what we create. Of course, this one, the lighting is not very architectural, it's more dynamic. But the challenge for Louis Clair, it was really to give the impression that you can control all building in the same time, in the same moment. This is the software that we need to make to permit some command like that. And now I want to speak about the lighting, where the lighting is not only to put the light around of you, but to give some signalization. And it's the next revolution, and probably on the X mall and building office, you can have this kind of equipment.
The birth of display was the beginning of a new world. In the world that was revealed by the display, we saw a brighter future. We have turned imagination into reality. We have finally opened up a new realm of innovation for OLED after overcoming numerous challenges through our passion. We will make this new world with values that rise above the technology we have known so far. Display, which broke away from the limits of form, more freely overcame the hindrances of expression to expand the value of beauty into a realm of creation close to an art. While substituting for familiar functions and emotions, we are continuing to imagine through infinity. A window of communication which allows mutual understanding beyond the visible world, It always leads us to selecting the best by swiftly reacting, even at unexpected moments. The unlimited evolution of technology turns all imagination to a display into reality. Our old dreams of getting desired information have just all been realized by wearable devices. More satisfactory routines are made to be enjoyed by always providing optimum conditions. Furthermore, our desired values are provided anywhere and anytime through thinner and lighter forms. Interface without gap between humans and technology. As OLED technology enters into our environment and forms, our work and life will be made anew even further. And at the end of all the changes, our dreams will be realized.
This technology is present now on the world. And you cannot imagine that tomorrow your mall, your building will not have inside. So because we are thinking about this high tower, it will be present in 2019. We really want to incorporate something like that because the interactivity and the image is our world. So when the lighting can serve not only the primary functions, but to contribute, to transmit information and data and art, it will be the world. And because the LED is not only the method to save energy, but also it can be the transmission for the next information. You know that the LED light, it's 1 million beeps by second. So it can transmit the internet 100 more faster than the Wi-Fi system. And tomorrow also, you can transmit the information by your lighting inside your building. It's our job to incorporate this new technology on the new design for lighting. Thank you.